Welcome to NBA Fandom. This is an independent NBA podcast which was created by fans for fans. This show is hosted by LA Blackwell, Danny, and Flau. They'll discuss the issues surrounding the NBA at all times and other sports-related topics. This is more than just a show, it's a movement. Be part of it.
This is episode 1 of our spin-off podcast known as NBA Fandom. I'm your host, LA Blackwell. Hope every one of our listeners out there are doing well. Glad to be joined by my co-host, Danny D. How you doing, Danny D?
I'm good, LA. What's going on with you, man?
I'm well, fellas. I'm also joined by my fellow co-host, Flo. How you been doing, Flo?
LA, I'm good. I'm excited, man.
That's great, man. This is a spin-off, as I stated earlier. And this is the official first episode of our podcast known as NBA Fandom. This podcast will allow us to delve deep into various NBA topics without taking away from our regular Knicks podcast known as Knicks Fandom. So please be sure to subscribe, take a listen to that podcast as well if you haven't done so already. We are huge NBA fans. We will give our thoughts and opinions from strictly a fan's perspective. This podcast will initially appear on our Spreaker platform, followed by a separate YouTube account, as well as iTunes and other platforms that we currently appear on. We truly believe that this product and podcast overall will be informative as well as entertaining. This is more just as a show, listeners. It's a movement. So our first segment on today's show is NBA Tip-Off. And for our first NBA Tip-Off topic is the Suns told point guard All-Star Eric Bledsoe to stay home and are now attempting to trade him at the time of this podcast taping. What's your initial thoughts, fellas, regarding this? Starting with you, Danny D.
You know, Eric Bledsoe puts out a tweet saying he doesn't want to stay in Phoenix. He wants to go, but he's still under contract. So, Phoenix told him to go home. I understand how Eric feels. He's, 27, 28 in the prime of his career. And Phoenix is just horrible. These guys suck. But the thing is, it's kind of hard to say that because you really can't dictate where you want to go because you're still under contract. If I'm a GM or if I'm an owner, you're going to have to play. I don't care if you don't want to play, you want to get traded, you're going to have to play. You're under contract. So it's either you play or you're going to play. It doesn't make any difference if you don't want to play. Because the thing is by him sending him home, guys, his value keeps on depreciating because he's not playing. And now the Phoenix Suns really don't have a leverage to do anything because now they know they want to get rid of him. You understand what I'm saying? So it puts Phoenix in a crazy situation.
Exactly. I know what happened. The thing is, you got Phil Jackson doing some inside consulting we don't know about, fellas. That's what's happening. I seen this thing happen with the Knicks, and Carmelo Anthony value just plummeted. They didn't learn their lesson from that. But what you think about this, Flo?
LA, I agree with both of you gentlemen. That's the problem with Phoenix. Once again, a lot of these Knicks fans, they keep talking about, Mr. Dolan is this, Mr. Dolan is that. You know what? The Phoenix Suns organization is one of the worst franchise that's been run to the ground, starting with their owner, Robert Sarver. He's done a horrible job. And then bringing in Ryan McDonough as their GM, he's got to go. I mean, if there's one person that should be on the hot seat, it's their GM, Ryan McDonough. And I'm not too sure that this team can really flourish until their owner sells the team because he's got to be committed to winning. In regards to the Eric Bledsoe situation, like D mentioned, you're destroying his trade value by you just sending him home. You're better off than just playing him. Let teams see what they have on the floor. And gentlemen, I want to add, according to Adam Wells of BleacherReport.com, the Suns are interested in NBA 2017 Rookie of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon of the Milwaukee Bucks. He's 24 years old. He's shooting 48% from the field. He's averaging 16 points per game. So, gentlemen, what's your take on this regarding him and any potential trade rumors in regards to Bledsoe?
Well, first up, the real NBA Rookie of the Year was Joel Embiid, but I ain't going to go into that right now. But that's besides the point.
Who's the guy with bad knees?
No, the guy that ate Andre Drummond the other day. That's what I'm talking about. But I like that. He's okay, Brandon. And, I wouldn't do it just because he had issues, Bledsoe. This is his first year. Last year, he was pretty healthy. They sat him out, trying to move up in the draft. And it worked for the most part. They got Josh Jackson. And to me, that's the only two players you really don't want to move right now is Booker and Josh Jackson. But I would not do that move right now if I'm Milwaukee. This guy's younger. He's still on the rookie contract. And I just don't think that's going to give you that extra oomph right now that you really need. Also worrying about the injury issues. And you still got to pay Bledsoe, too. Making a pretty good amount of change right now. What you think about Danny D?
Yeah, I agree. But his contract, his contract is reasonable. He's only getting $14 million, maybe like $15 million next year. But the thing is, if I'm an organization, whoever Phoenix wants, I'm gonna do the total opposite because I'm not gonna give it to you. If I'm Milwaukee, if I'm trying to do the trade, I'm gonna give you Jabari Parker and Matthew Dellavedova. I'm giving you somebody that I really know. No disrespect to Jabari Parker, but he's coming off of surgery, and Bledsoe's coming off of 2 knee surgeries. I'm not giving you Brodzik. He's the rookie of the year. There's nothing wrong. He's an able body. I'm giving you somebody that is half, maybe 50% that I really don't need because you have no leverage. I'm giving you a bench player, and I'm not even giving you a draft pick. You're not gonna get over on me.
I agree. How about you, Flo?
Yeah, no, I agree. What's bothering me with the Suns organization, especially with their GM, I don't understand why does he feel like he has the right to demand first-round draft picks for Eric Bledsoe? You're not playing Bledsoe, so you don't have the right to demand anything.
It's true. Doing that Phil Jackson stuff, man. I'm not understanding it. And one thing I want to add, I saw another report that was stated by Mark Stein of the Stein Line, the Twitter account, the reporter. He stated the Suns seek a new home via trade for Eric Bledsoe. They explore trying to move Tyson Chandler the same deal, lead sources say. And one potential deal that came up, and I just want to get y'all guys' thoughts on it. And it was Eric Bledsoe being traded to the Phoenix Suns. The Suns will receive Jabari Parker and Matthew Dellavedova. And also the Chicago Bulls will receive Tyson Chandler as well as Milwaukee Bucks 2018 first-round pick. So I just want to know what you guys think about that potential deal. Starting with you this time, Danny D.
You said it's going to be Jabari Parker and Matthew Dellavedova, right?
Yes, the Suns will receive those 2 players.
I might do that trade, but I'm not giving a draft pick up. I'll do it without a draft pick.
To Tyson Chandler. But in the Tyson Chandler deal with Chicago Bulls, the Bucks did. They really wouldn't get a pick in the first one though.
Who Milwaukee still have to give him a draft pick, right?
No, this time they just saying the Bulls will receive Tyson Chandler and their Milwaukee pick. So that pick would go from them. It would go from Milwaukee to the Bulls.
Nah, I still need my pick, man. I'm not giving that up. I'm giving that as least as possible. I'm just giving up those 2 guys, and that's it. If I'm just giving up them 2 guys, I'll rock with it. I'll do that. I can rock with Jabari Parker and Matthew Dellavedova. That's a maybe possibility. That's a maybe. I might. That's interesting. Yes, I might do that. Maybe. If it had to go 100%, I might do 75%. I'll lean towards it.
I hear you. Definitely hear where you're coming from. How about you, Flo?
If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, I turn that deal down.
Okay. Why
turn it down. I mean, yeah, I understand Jabari Parker has been injury prone in his NBA career. I get that. Dellavedova is a good, steady backup point guard, a good defender. But you're getting, again, Eric Bledsoe. I like Eric Bledsoe a lot. But again, like Dee mentioned earlier, this guy has some knee issues. I'll be very leery to get a player like that. I mean, if you're getting him, you're only going to get him just to clear up cap space for 2 years. But after 2 years. But other than that, I would kind of stay away from. If you're Milwaukee, you rather give up, maybe another player that's with Dellavedova, substitute Jabari Parker out of that deal. Maybe give it, like I said, throwing another player, maybe like a Henson, I would say, as opposed to Jabari Parker.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from. I kind of see where you both guys coming from, and I kind of agree on both sides because I was looking at something with Milwaukee, and we'll get into that later on in the show in one of the other segments that's coming up. And the Bucks really need a point guard to kind of help out the rookie they have, Brandon. He's just starting. He's playing okay, but he's not really doing everything you really need a veteran point guard to do with this team. And you got Giannis up there, which basically the playing the point as well, the big point forward type of thing, but he play in the center position, which goes to a whole nother topic I want to get into. They really need a big man down the road. I really look at their team, and they really getting punished on the boards by a lot of weaker teams. But I'm going to go into that later on in the show. So that's the thing. If I could maybe get Chandler in that deal some type of way, I would be more open to doing that. But I don't know how you would make that work money-wise. That's the only issue I have. But I definitely see where they're going with that. And, it's a lot of places that Bledsoe definitely could be utilized. But the main place I think I could see him getting utilized is the Clippers. I think he should really try to go back home right now and try to find a way to make that move. Because if I'm the Clippers, I'm looking at that team. That team is playing pretty well so far. But it's a problem when you got Blake Griffin getting most of the assists on that team. I looked at the game he played the other day, and they were playing against the Blazers. And he had 5 assists, and that led to the whole team. And that's with him putting up 25 points as well. Because in my eyes, Beverly's not a true point guard, and Austin Rivers should be more off the bench a scoring option to me. He's not a legit point guard either. So if I could find some way to try to get him back over there, I would try to make that happen. I don't know how they would do it, but that's something I would look into. What you guys think about that?
That's interesting. I remember when me and Flo was talking about this too. If I'm Eric Bledsoe, I don't want to be there. Forget all the trade talks. Just buy me out. I'm old 29, whatever. Just buy me out. You owe me 29. Give me 20. Give me 19. Give me 18. We'll call it a day, and I just buy me out, and I can go where I want to go. We could forget the middleman nonsense, and I can be about my business.
About my business. I can see that too. He's trying to take a page out of the Dwayne Wade handbook.
Yeah.
But time will tell, fellas. Time will tell. And that's our first topic for NBA tip-off. For the next topic, the early woes of Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, they're 3-3, the Eastern Conference champions. Do you really believe this is a reason for concern? Yes or no, or is it just too early in the season? Starting with you, Flo, this time.
LA, I'm going to shock you. Yes, it is a concern. They're giving up too many points defensively. And the sad thing about it is when you look at that team, yes, they got some depth, but the problem is you got LeBron James and Jay Crowder is really the only the 2 best defenders on that team. Everybody else are really average defenders or below average defenders. So they have a big problem, and Coach Lou is going to have to create some type of defensive scheme to get them to play team defense, or maybe get them to play a little bit of zone, different points in the game. But yeah, it is a major concern. Defensively, yes, there's a concern with that team.
Okay. How about you, Danny D?
I think it's early woes, but yes, defensively, when you're giving up 119 to the Chicago Bulls, yeah, they're horrible at defense. But they've been horrible in defense last year too with Kyrie, because Kyrie don't play no defense either. But see, that's the thing. Tyronn Lue's not a coach. He's horrible.
I concur.
He's horrible. He doesn't make any adjustments. He let them go up and down the court. I don't know this because the thing is, you have LeBron running point. Oh, he's gonna run point. Okay, he's running point. So now he's facilitating. Who's helping him get along? He's old, man. He can't do that. It's wearing on his body. I think going to the free throw lines. Oh, he's tired. No, he just sucks at free throws too when they're playing the Nets. But the thing is, it's early woes because you have a lot of new pieces together, and they really haven't really got down the foundation. So Tyronn Lue keeps on trying to change the lineup to make things fit. It's early in the season, but you're trying to change things. You don't even have a real point guard. You go with Derrick Rose. I don't think Derrick Rose is the point guard to facilitate, because he's more of a driver to the basket. Not even a driving kick. He drives to the basket and does all these eyes moving, and his jump shot is suspect, and he doesn't make other people better.
And he's injured too, so he's not even out there like you want him to be on a regular basis. That's one thing you could say with Kyrie. He really wasn't hurt too much once LeBron came, Yeah. And you've seen the impact of losing Kyrie. A lot of people thought, Kyrie was like kind of big in his britches for trying to move, but you've seen the impact right now. That's basically what you've seen, But the biggest thing, I think it is a reason to be somewhat concerned, but as long as I got LBJ.
LeBron James.
That's the main thing. As long as he's healthy, you always got a chance. And he's healthy. Like you say, he is getting a little worn down. He's getting a little older. But until he get hurt, or until he really struggling, I'm not super concerned. But the main thing, you got to hope Isaiah comes back healthy. And you got to hope Rose comes back healthy at this point because a lot is still going to go through them. And you have to see what happens as the season goes along. But I think also thing you have to look at, like you said, is the coaching. I think now when you're struggling like this and you got injuries, coaching really plays a big part of it. And the thing, if you look back, fellas, LeBron never really had a great coach other than like Everett Spoelstra. If you're a huge fan of him, I'm not the greatest fan of his. But imagine what he would have been like if he was coached by a really legitimate great coach. His best coach was probably in the Olympics. That's one thing I always think about with him, looking at that. That's one thing Jordan really benefited from, as well as the Lakers. I'm not a fan of Phil, when he was the GM or anything of that nature, president of operations, but he was always a good fit for when you had all your pieces already set up, he could get you go over that hump. You saw it with Dale Harris and the Lakers. They just couldn't get that hump. Basically brought the same team back and they won it. So that's the one thing I would think about LBJ. And that's why you're going to struggle right now, fellas. But I think we touched everything on regarding that topic. Time will tell, as I like to say. And we're going to our next segment of the show, which is Off the Cuff. And for Off the Cuff topic, this is basically where we discuss anything we find interesting pertaining to NBA that we like to present for discussion or debate. And basically, I'm going to start off with you, Flo. You got anything regarding Off the Cuff?
Well, LA, the one thing I want to mention with the Off the Cuff segment is that according to Jeff Kastler of Hoop Rumors, the Los Angeles Lakers G League, the South Bay Lakers hired Metta World Peace as an assistant coach. Keep in mind, gentlemen, Peace played 6 years with the Lakers. He won a championship in 2010. And the team, the South Bay Lakers, is coached by Kobe Carl, the son of former NBA coach George Karl. So, gentlemen, I want to know what's your take on Metta World Peace being hired.
Watch some fans in the first row, man. First thing I thought about. If they get on loser street, it might be hot out down there. But how about you, D? What you think about Metta World Peace?
Hey, man, he's being a productive person in society right now. He's earning a living. Man, go ahead, World Metta Peace, a.k.a. Ron Artest.
Okay, how about you, Flo? What you think about it?
LA, I just want to say congratulations to Metta World Peace, a.k.a. Ron Artest. I'm happy for him that he's still involved in basketball. This guy's played 17 years in the league. He's also played for the Knicks. He's got a championship ring. This guy has a lot of experience. He's been through the high in 2010, winning the championship. He's been through the low, Palace at Auburn Hills brawl. So this guy has a lot of knowledge to offer these potential NBA ball players. So I wish him all the best, and hopefully we can get a hold of him and have him on the show down the road.
Definitely. All jokes aside, though, I have heard him talking other interviews and podcasts, and he does have a lot of knowledge, a lot of different things, not even just basketball. He talk about a lot of different social issues, things of that nature. So I think he could definitely relate to a lot of the young players out there. He also had a somewhat rap career he tried, so he can actually talk about different things outside of basketball that some of these guys might be able to relate to as well, some of their ambitions outside of the court. And it might be a way to, communicate and bridge that gap. So, and like you said, he did play a lot of years, 17 years, so you got to know the game when you play that long. But, we'll have to see what happens, see what type of impact he has, and just see where it go from there. That's something I didn't know. Thank you very much for that, Flo. You said you had another issue you want to talk about regarding Off the Cuff?
Yeah, LA. One thing I just want to quickly mention that the NBA granted Boston Celtics the disabled players exemption. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. And some rumors I've been hearing that the Celtics are looking at a couple of players. One, Corey Brewer from the Los Angeles Lakers. Two, Ersan Ilyasova at Atlanta Hawks. Or a player that's a free agent that was on the team last year, Gerald Green. What's your take on this, gentlemen?
Okay. Start you out with you, Danny D. What you think?
I would go for Ilyasova. I like his game. He's a good fit for Boston. I think he'd be a good fit for that team and his playing style. Gerald Green is just too one-dimensional for me, like just dunking on people all day. And Corey Brewer I like Corey Brewer. He's a journeyman. He gets busy. He's very consistent, but I like Ilyasova. He's a good fit, though. I would definitely pick him up if I was Boston or go after him.
Yeah, I agree as well. Because as we talked about in our Knicks Fandom podcast, they definitely need a big man. And he's not a true inside rim protector, nothing of that nature, but he would help you out in that regard, spreading the floor. I think Stevens would really like that with his type of offense. Kind of what Kelly Olynyk used to do, those type of things. And another body can grab some rebounds somewhat. So I think he's the best fit out of all those three guys. What you think about it, Flo?
Gentlemen, I actually agree with both of you. Ilyasova is a perfect fit with the Celtics. He's got the size. He can shoot the three ball. He'll fit into that Brad Stevens offense. And he's a veteran. So he's been in this league for a while. He's been on a lot of losing teams, unfortunately. But hopefully, if the Celtics can go after him, via trade, I think it can work out for them, definitely. And it can give a lot of their big men some breather, Al Horford of the world, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely he'll fit in.
Okay, thank you very much, Flo. How about you, Dan D? You got anything for off the cuff?
Off the cuff, I'm talking about Flo's and LA's favorite team, the Philadelphia 76ers.
Right
and their management. So you guys have recently known that they've chosen Markelle Fultz, right, as the number 1 pick overall in Philadelphia. But he hasn't been playing. He's been complaining of a soreness in his shoulder. Mm-hmm. So the soreness of his shoulder, as you can see, if you have tapes, if you guys and listeners, if you go look up how he's been shooting for the last couple of months since the preseason, now when he's taking a jump shot, he's not even going overhead. He's going in the middle of his chest, and he's shooting free throws now. He can't lift his shoulder over his head to make a jump shot. So a lot of people have been speculating what's going on. So first, there was the coach Brett Brown saying that he tried to change his jump shot over the summer. He's been working on that, right? And then Brian Colangelo, Flo's favorite guy, says, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? The reason why, that his shoulder is hurting and things like that because he's trying to change his form of his shot. That's why. That's what's making his shoulder hurt, because he's changing the form of how he does his jump shot. So his shoulder's hurting. Nah, man. The guy's injured. His shoulder's messed up. On October 5th, according to ESPN, and his agent, Markelle Fultz had a cortisone shot in his shoulder. Because he had severe pain in his shoulder. So he had that. Then he had another preseason game when they had to shut him down October 6th. And then now the team is realizing that he has a real problem with his shoulder, and he has to sit out the next 4 games. So a lot of people are saying that maybe they didn't know. They're saying that Markelle Fultz has been deferring people and saying about his injury because he really wants to play, and he's not telling the truth. But then as the Philadelphia 76er, how are you a coach and you're a GM saying that it's his fault that he caused his shoulder injury?
I know. Something got to give right there.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, how are y'all not on the same page? It's not like you're going against him. He's your number 1 pick. If he's hurt, you should know that he's hurt. Not that he's changing his form of his shot. And how do you didn't know that he's getting cortisone shot in his shoulder? Yeah, who's giving him the shots? That y'all didn't know that.
Yeah, I definitely heard about this. He's doing them shot put looking shots, man.
You see the shot, yeah. And it's like, oh, that's a new. He's not shooting on that gets better. And if you go to college, he was off the dribble, step back, he was shooting regular. So all of a sudden he's going to change it over the summer. Somebody got to be blamed for this. Y'all are really foolish if this is happening.
Yeah, they're dropping the ball, and you can't afford to drop the ball with a first-round pick, and overall first pick. And I don't understand that. Go ahead, D.
And the thing is, and the other thing, I'm very upset because remember he's only 19 years old. He's 19.
Exactly, and that's the point. If this guy's too young to be tinkering with his shot unless he really wanted to, and you hurt to the point that you actually change your shot, you don't need to be out there. You really don't. It's too early in his career. Go ahead.
But too early in his career. But the thing is, he did, in the preseason season game, he didn't even take a 3-pointer. If you look at it, he hasn't taken 1 3-pointer shot. He didn't attempt a 3 at all in the first games he played. Not 1 3-point attempt. That's not saying something.
No, and he also not playing before they had him on the bench. They was going to start him on the bench and everything. So right there tell you something is not right. They talking about he didn't get enough playing time. Something is foul in Denmark or something.
Oh.
But I know you got a lot to say about this, Flo, and your favorite, organization over there. So go into it, Flo.
Listen, the Colangelos right now, they should resign. They're doing a horrible job in Philadelphia. They did a horrible job in Phoenix also. They need to go. Period. One thing I don't understand is that with these guys is that you saw the tapes of him playing at the University of Washington. Did you reach out to the coaching staff and the medical staff over there to find out, is this kid healthy before you make a trade for the number 1 pick? 1. 2, did you even have your team doctors, the 76ers team doctors, check him out? Or is this the same team doctors that checked out Joel Embiid? I'd like to know.
Oh, man. I don't know. It don't look good right now. I mean, they got a lot of talent over there. I love how Ben Simmons is playing, Joe Embiid so far, but they got to pick it up in that respect, man. Hey, don't you add there to Flo?
Listen, I'm really hoping that the team doctor is not the same team doctor that's been with the organization for so many years. I'm hoping it's not. I'm really hoping this is something. They have a new team doctor. I'm hoping, because they need a clean house over there in Philadelphia. You have some pieces there with Ben Simmons. You signed J.J. Redick as a veteran experience just for 1 year. This organization is really, you hope it's going up, but it's like as they're trying to go up, it's like there's always something that's occurring. With Embiid with the minutes restriction. You drafted him, but you know what? At the end of the day, man, this is what they deserve. Misery loves company, and they're getting what they deserve. All in all, they're getting what they deserve, man.
Oh, man. Well, that's it. One thing I want to add regarding off the cuff, just y'all guys' opinions. I was looking at the Paul George and Oladipo trade, and I just want to put up a few stats and see what y'all think about this. I know it's early, but just kind of interesting. I didn't realize it was that big a difference so early in the season. And so far, just looking at with 5 games played, Oladipo, he averages 26 points, 2.8 assists, 4.6 rebounds, 2.2 steals, 0.8 blocks, and 2.8 turnovers. And he's shooting about 500, and from three-point line, he's shooting about 44% in 31 minutes. Paul George is averaging in about 4 games at this time, about 18.5 points, 2.8 assists, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 steals, 0.5 blocks, 2.5 turnovers, and shooting 303%, 30%, and basically 303% again from three-point land in 33 minutes. And I just wanted to ask y'all guys, what do you think about that comparison so far? Are you shocked by it? Is it a little early? Or, what's your overall thoughts about it? Starting with you this time, Danny D.
No, I'm not shocked by it. It's supposed to be like that. Because you got to think about it. Because if it was reversed, it would have been the same thing. Because basically, Oladipo is going to be the man of the team. Because he's going to have to be the go-to guy. Because he's taking over for Paul George. And then Paul George is going to have to put up limited numbers because now he's sharing the ball more with a Russell Westbrook and a Carmelo. Okay. So now the ball is being more short, and then he's not the go-to guy. So Oladipo has to step up his game, put up more minutes because the scoring and the defensives are going to be looking at him now because he's basically the man of the team. Because it's not Lance. I thought it'd been Lance. I thought Lance would have way more numbers, but I don't know what's going on. It was really Oladipo.
Yeah, he's struggling. Oladipo playing well in transition too.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on over there with Lance. Good gracious.
And how about you, Flo? What you think about that?
Well, I'm wondering in the back of my head, can Oladipo can sustain this, in terms of the scoring. I think he is a 20-point scorer in this league. I know that in a couple of podcasts, in the Knicks Fandom podcast, I know I mentioned based on his level of play that he looks like a six-man of the year potential. This guy can ball. But I think the biggest reason why he's succeeding this year is two things. One, change of scenery. Two, I don't know if you guys have seen photos of him over the summer. This guy's dropped 10 pounds in 3 weeks, and he looks good in terms of like physically wise. He's chiseled. He's real. He's got a six pack. He's in shape. He's healthy. Right now, he's 210 pounds. So I'm not surprised he's playing well based on he's taking care of his body over the summer, as opposed to the year in OKC. It looked like he was a little bit out of shape.
Okay. I agree with you guys. I just like the comparison just because it showed we was looking to see what Oladipo was going to do when this deal was made, and he's stepping up. That's the main thing I really wanted to see. I don't believe he's going to shoot 50% from the field. That's definitely not going to happen. Same thing with 3-point percentage. But I was watching some of his clips and some of the games. He's really playing well in transition. Also, the coaching staff had let him do the passing lanes a little bit like Allen Iverson. So that allowed him to really get out on the open floor, hit them threes in transition as well. And he's going to the basket pretty well, too. He's getting to the free throw line as well. But, one thing I'm kind of shocked about is Paul George shooting as low as he is right now. I would thought he would shoot the ball a little better than that. But I guess maybe he's not really controlling the ball as much now. He's really got to get used to where he's getting the shots at. And just something to see as the season go along, So that's just something I wanted to point out for our early listeners out there and fans. And also one other thing I want to talk about real quick was the player DeMarcus Cousins. So far in 6 games, he's averaged 32 points, 13 rebounds, and 5.7 assists. But the big thing is he's doing a lot of this with Anthony Davis being hurt again and out of the lineup. So I'm trying to think, are y'all ready to put this experiment away, or just making you feel more like one of them got to get dealt before the season is over, or you think still give it some time, or is it just too early? Just your early thoughts behind that. Starting with you, Flo.
Well, LA, I think I mentioned this in the Knicks Fandom podcast last week that Allen Gentry is one of the coaches that's on the hot seat right now for the New Orleans Pelicans. So he definitely needs a healthy Anthony Davis combined with DeMarcus Cousins. That's very important. I wish both gentlemen all the best. I know Boogie had a great game against his former team, the Sacramento Kings, carrying his,
He took it personal, bro.
And I don't know if you heard the comments that he made that if he knew that Sacramento was going to be disloyal to him, he would have requested out of Sacramento earlier in his career. So he was very disappointed in that team. Mm-hmm. But listen, I wish him all the best. I hope he continues to succeed. I wish that the unibrow can be healthy. And I want to see these guys together as opposed to, separate. I need to see both of these guys together with a Drew Holiday.
Okay. How about you, Danny D?
Yeah, it's too early because they played another game recently, and I think they beat the Cavs, but he had like a triple-double, and everybody played together. So they was like, oh, just see this can happen, and we all dial in together. But the thing, Anthony Davis has to be healthy to really work out because they always going to say what could have been, what could have happened because everybody wasn't healthy.
Exactly. I'm going to agree with you. Only thing I like to see, they just look so much better when one of them is not out there, though. That's the only thing I'm looking at. They get to really have their free range. But the one thing I really want to see, if they get some real shooting, they don't really have, they had like a Kyle Korver type or somebody really on the outside that then the guys can kick it to, and you really couldn't just convert on them. I'd really like to see how that team would look. Because now, like you said, Drew Holiday, I'm a fan of his as well. But I'd really like to see if they had some outside shooting to help those guys out. But it's early, but it's just something to keep an eye on and just see what happens as the season goes along. And that's it for our Off the Cuff segment. And we're going to go to our next segment known as NBA Hot Topics. And for our NBA Hot Topic, basically today is the annual GM survey recently came out. And this annual survey has all 30 general managers vote on a variety of defining questions. Today, we will take a look at the following 2 questions. If you were starting a franchise today and could sign any player in the NBA, who would it be? This time, I'm going to start with you, Danny D.
And who would it start off? Who would it be right now? Who would it be? I might have to go with Milwaukee, Antetokounmpo. I might go out with him.
Okay. And what's the particular reason?
He's young, and he's getting there potential wise, and then length and his ability, and how he's playing this year. He's working on his jump shot. He's coming in a little more. He's got the build, and he's younger. He's quicker. He's maturing. So I'm going with him. I'm going off with him. That's what I'm taking.
Okay. How about you, Flo?
Actually, LA, I'm going to agree with D on this one. The Greek Freak, definitely. The potential is there. Great athleticism, good length. He's got a great height. Guy's like a point forward. Imagine if he was built like LeBron, man. Whew.
He getting there, though, man. If you look at him compared to last year, he definitely put on some muscle, man. He's definitely getting there. And he's taller, too, so that's the thing that make him look a little smaller than he normally is. But he's young.
That's true. That is true.
We did these type of questions before on Knicks Fandom, but this is the first time we're doing this on this show as well for this season. So it's always a thing we like to hear from our listeners. You can always give us your picks as well. For me, this question-wise, just strictly basketball. If you're talking about outside of basketball, you may pick your LeBron James. You may pick your Steph Curry. Steph Curry, because of that reason, those guys are big-time, fans really enjoy watching them, big money makers for franchises. But strictly from a basketball perspective on the court, I got to agree with y'all. The Greek Freak right now. Giannis, he's just looking real strong out there. He's young. And he's the type of player you really don't see. You haven't seen this type of player with these dimensions, the size of his hands, his height, his speed. He's like a point guard that's almost 7 feet. And he's just getting bigger and stronger as it goes along. The only other guy I would have thought was Kawhi. But since he has an injury, I'm a little worried about that now. I don't know how well he's going to come back from that. And he's a little older, so those are things that you kind of think about. But Stephen Curry would be the other guy I would think about as well, too. A little bit over LeBron right now just because he's getting older. I don't know how much LeBron really want to keep playing. But those are guys I would look at as well. And just for the listeners out there, I'll break it down to you how it was with the GM's pick. And funny thing is, we didn't pick the number one pick by the GM, which was Karl Anthony Towns from Minnesota with 29%. Giannis was picked with 21% from Milwaukee. LeBron James was picked at 18%. Kawhi Leonard was picked at 14%. Kevin Durant was picked at 11% as well. So that's the top ones for the GMs, how they would have picked it. And for our second question, guys, I just want to ask y'all real quick regarding this topic was, who do you consider is the best point guard in the NBA right now? Starting with you, Flo, this time.
LA, normally I would go with Chris Paul, CP3. But I'm going to go with John Wall, the Washington Wizards right now. This guy is definitely, he can score, he can defend. He's getting better defensively. I know he had some knee issues early in his career, coming from the University of Kentucky. This guy is definitely trying to carry the franchise on his back with a healthy Bradley Beal. So I'm going to go with John Wall on the Washington Wizards.
Okay. How about you, Danny D? Who's your considered best point guard in NBA right now?
Yeah, best point guard. I was going to go with John Wall too. It was between John Wall and Russell Westbrook, and I'm going with Russell Westbrook because he's more consistent. Because John Wall with the jump shot, he's not consistent as Russell Westbrook. But I'm going with Russell Westbrook because the intensity that he brings, and he's getting there, trying to get other people that are better. But I'm relying on. I'm going with Russell.
Okay. I respect that pick as well. The reigning MVP. First time guy got triple-double since Oscar Robertson. Hard to go against that. Also hard to go against John Wall, up becoming a superstar. But for me right now, it's tough. I probably lean a little bit more toward Russell Westbrook right now, just because he does a little more with the rebounding, the points, and the assists. But it's a hard push right there with Stephen Curry to me. Just because he is the two-time MVP, and he's one of the few players that can make the whole defense change. Like, you got to guard this guy as soon as he come across half court. There's very few players that make you spread the floor like that. His three-point consistency is incredible. I haven't seen anything like that in this day and age. And he can also drive. He also can give assists. He's just his defense. If the defense ever got a lot better than what it is now, then I would move him up a little bit higher. But that's only the defense, and he doesn't rebound as well. But That's like a 1 and 1A right now with me. We go on Russell Westbrook and Curry right now, looking at overall. And just show y'all who the NBA GMs picked. Their pick was Stephen Curry with 62%. Russell Westbrook was 28%. You had Chris Paul from Houston, who's at 7%. John Wall also at 3%. Funniest part, they didn't have Kyrie on there, which I thought was a little shocking. And any thoughts regarding the GM picks? And what y'all thought about that overall? We go on Towns first, seeing he was considered first. Starting with you, Flo.
No, there's nothing wrong with that pick with Karl Anthony Towns, Cat, as a player you want to build a franchise around. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't disagree with that one.
Okay. How about you, Danny D?
Yeah, I agree, but I still wouldn't put him first though if I was a GM. I don't understand. Because with Cat, he's good, but he still needs a little bit more mature and working on his shot too, dribbling. But I guess if you're trying to do a building block, but I still would have went with the Greek Freak though.
Yeah, and I agree. It just goes to show you how different some GMs look and how the fans look from their perspective. Just a little inside look. And any main thoughts you have regarding Stephen Curry? I know none of y'all picked him as a number one. What y'all thought about that overall? Starting with you, Danny D.
Now with Stephen Curry, he's good, but the thing is, I just like with a John Wall on a Russell Westbrook, the things because I still don't give the nods to Stephen Curry because the fact the amount of people, it's like a Draymond Green. Like when he said he's an all-star, I just can't validate that all-star to be a number one because of the other players that he's playing with. Now, if the roles were reversed and you put a Stephen Curry on a Westbrook team, not now from last year, I don't think he'll be impactful like he would be like he's on Golden State because he get a lot of open opportunities secondary because of Klay Thompson.
No, that's a good point.
That's the only reason I didn't put him on number one. Besides the defense, I think he just gets a lot more help than a John Wall. Like you can't like Flo said, John Wall is good, Bradley Beal is good, but he's no Klay Thompson.
Right. Okay. How about you, Flo? Anything else you want to add regarding Stephen Curry being the number one pick by the GMs?
That's the thing that bothers me the most. I think he's a top 10 point guard, but I wouldn't rank him as number one right now. It's nothing personal. I don't have nothing personal against him. We know what he's capable of doing, but I think rating him number one is a little bit too high right now. Top 10, yes. Number one,
Okay. Well, you heard my thoughts. I saw him like 1A, but it definitely made some good points both sides. I could definitely see where everybody's coming from. But that was our NBA hot topic for the day, listeners, and that goes into our final closing remarks for today's show. You have any closing remarks for today's show? So I want you, Flo.
LA, I want to thank all of the listeners. Please subscribe and tell a friend. This is a brand new show, a spinoff, NBA Fandom. This is the makings of something big. So also, I want to thank both of you guys for allowing me part of this good show. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Flo. Much appreciated. Very much glad that you're on the show. How about you, Danny D? What's your closing remarks for today?
I want to thank you guys for having me on this show. I want to thank our listeners. Subscribe, tell a friend, Speaker, YouTube. Just tell a friend and keep on listening. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Danny D. Much appreciated. As always, appreciate you guys' contributions and assessments. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you to our listeners. Keep spreading the word. Keep listening to Knicks Fandom. Tell other listeners about NBA Fandom. And if you want to hear a certain topic, let us know. You want to hear us talk about different teams, let us know as well. We got a Facebook account we're going to have. We also have an email account for NBA Fandom 24/7 at Yahoo, or at Gmail, I should say. So make sure to leave us a line on that as well. Have a good one, everybody. See ya.